welcome back to Whiteboard Learning Platform. My name is Anuradha Tripathi. Today's session is in the continuation of the August month environment, biodiversity and geography related current affairs. So the very first news article that we will be discussing about the pyrocumulus nimbus cloud when the wildfires spit the storm and the lightning. This was published in the Indian Express newspaper. So here the context of this news is that before 2023 there was total incident of this cloud formation was 102, and out of which the 50 of them were seen in the Canada. However, as per the recent report of the journal Nature, it says that during the last year, this extreme wildfire season, only 140 pyrocumulus nimbus cloud were recorded only in the Canada alone. So that's what this news become important. So here we'll understand what is pyrocumulus nimbus cloud and what is the process of formation. So as far as this word is concerned, here the pyro means fire, which means this cloud result because of the hot wildfire and volcanic eruption. So here in this particular process, this wildfire and volcanic eruption will result into the formation of this pyrocumulus cloud. So this is associated with the fire. Because of this, it is also known as fire cloud. Here, one more thing we need to understand, that all the wildfire will not result into the formation of this cloud. Only the wildfire or volcanic eruptions which is of the extreme high temperature will result. For example, during 2019-2020, when there was a Australian bushfire which raised the temperature approximate 800 degrees Celsius, were resulted into this formation of this cloud. As far as the process is concerned, because of the wildfire and the volcanic eruption, the temperature of the nearby air will increase, because of which the air will move upward in the atmosphere and it will be carrying along with the water vapor, smoke and ash. As the air will rise high in the atmosphere, so it will be once cool enough, so this water vapor will be condensed to form the cloud, and at this stage it will be known as the pyrocumulus cloud. But if there is a sufficient quantity of the water vapor available, this pyrocumulus cloud or the fire cloud will further rise to a greater height of 50,000 feet. So at this particular height, this will be termed as the pyrocumulus nimbus cloud. So here, what will be the impact of this cloud? So basically at this such height, this cloud will be resulting into lightning and thundering. So because of this lightning, this cloud will also be the reason of the new wildfire, but at a different places. And another important aspect, it's as far as it continues, is its consequences is concerned, it will further spread the wildfire faster and unpredictable. Reason being is this cloud is also associated with the strong wind. So this will further impact the wildfire and it will further increase the speed of the wildfire. Now we'll discuss the next important article, which is related to the issues of the Aravalli range. So this news article talks about that because of illegal mining, encroachment, deforestation poses the threat to the Aravalli range, which is acting as a natural green wall. So first and foremost, we'll understand some of the basic fact about the Aravalli range, which is important for the examination perspective. So Aravalli range is spread throughout the 4 states in India, right away from the Haryana, Delhi, Rajasthan and Gujarat, and whereby approximate 80% of this Aravalli range lies in the Rajasthan state and the 20% shares lies in the other 3 states. If we talk about the length, it is approximate 692 kilometer and its width vary from 10 kilometer to 120 kilometer. Why this Aravalli range is significant? Because it is also act as the ecotone, and because of which this Aravalli range is very significant from the perspective of biodiversity. So here, what is the meaning of ecotone? Basically, it is a transition zone between the 2 ecosystems. So Aravalli range is a transition zone from the Thar desert, which lies on the western side, and there is a Gangetic plain on the eastern side. If we talk about the number of hills which is located in this particular range, is approximate 500 hillocks. If you talk about the highest peak of this range is the Guru Shikhar in the Mount Abu, which is having the 1722 meter. Now, coming to the issues which is mentioned in this article is about that this green wall, which is the Aravalli range, is facing the several issues because of the illegal land encroachment in Haryana and illegal mining in the Rajasthan and illegal tourism and the hotel construction which we can see in the southern Rajasthan and the Gujarat. So because of these issues, what is exactly happening? So there is a declining in the forest area from 1999 to 2019, which says that the forest area decreased up to 0.9%, which is approximate 705 square kilometer. One of the important fact that is also mentioned about this forest area decrement is about 32% from 1975 to 2019. Here, the two important indicator which is used to evaluate the health of this Aravalli range, which is mentioned, is about enhanced vegetation index. So this news article says this enhanced vegetation index is declining from the at least in the negative from the 0 to minus 0.2 in the upper Aravalli region. So here, what is this enhanced vegetation index? Basically, it is the capacity of the total biomass. So here, that tool is basically using the remote sensing technology to estimate the biomass. So biomass is related to the sinking of carbon dioxide. So that is going to that is basically a potential of the forest in order to store the carbon dioxide. So this enhanced vegetation index is specifically declining, which means that there is a forest degradation. Forest degradation means the capacity to store the biomass is decreasing. Another important keyword which is mentioned is the carbon flux. So the carbon flux is a phenomena whereby there will be the consistent exchange of the carbon dioxide from the land, from the water, from the forest and from the atmosphere. So that can be either positive or negative. So the positive carbon flux, which means there will be the movement of the carbon dioxide into atmosphere. It means there will be the more greenhouse gas emission in the atmosphere. On the other hand, the negative carbon flux, which means the carbon dioxide is sinking into its reservoir. That can be either because of the photosynthesis in the forest ecosystem. So as far as this carbon flux is concerned in this Aravalli range, that is the negative, and that too specifically in the lower Aravalli range and the upper Aravalli range. So with these two aspects, we can understand that there is a forest degradation in the Aravalli range which is consistently impacting the biodiversity. As I already mentioned that this Aravalli range is ecotone, so the preservation of this Aravalli range is very much crucial in order to protect the biodiversity and the health of the forest. Another important fact that you should remember is from the perspective of exam is that this Aravalli range is consisting of two ranges. One is a Sambar Sirohi range and another is Sambar Khetri range. Now, the next important news is about the why the scarce rainfall restricted the passage of the ship through Panama Canal. So, this news article is discussing about why the ship which is transmitted from this canal is decreased in the number of the ships. And one of the important reason that has been discussed is because of the climate change. So, this particular aspect that we will be dealing, first we will understand the certain basic fact about this canal, that the first ship that passed through this canal was on 15th of August 1914, which is approximately 82 kilometer canal. So here we can understand it means it was more than 110 years that ever since this canal is working for the shipping lane in the world. Now it is facing the existential crisis because of the climate change. So the certain basic fact that has been given is at least previously up to from the 36 to 38 ships used to be passed on every day from the canal, but now in the last year December the traffic fails to 22 ships in a day, whereby at least 160 ships was stuck on the either side of this canal. And the reason being is that here one of the freshwater man-made lake, namely Lake Gatun, here because of the drought, the level of the water in this particular lake is declining, because of which this Panama Canal is enabled to operate as it was previously operating with the 36 to 38 ships. So basically this article is discussing about this canal which we can see is not a normal canal, but it is an engineering marvel. Reason being is that canal is not constructing as per the sea level, as the case in the case of Suez Canal. So here the ship is being uplifted at a certain elevation and then later on dropping down with the system of locks. So here we'll understand that how the ship is transferred from one end to another end by consistently rising at a certain height and then later on dropping down. So here the system which is used is the system of lock. So in this entire canal, the total number of lock that is in the use is 12, whereby the 3 sets of lock, 12 in all, is serviced with the help of artificial lakes, as I have already mentioned, for example Lake Gatun. So that is used for the upliftment and dropping down of the ship. The reason being is, as we know that this canal is a connecting point. On one hand there is a Pacific Ocean and on another hand is Atlantic Ocean. If we see that the level of these two oceans, so the Pacific Ocean is comparatively at a slightly higher position as compared to the Atlantic Ocean. So to match the level playing, so the system of lock is needed in order to uplift and drop down the ship. So here with the help of this image, we'll try to understand that how the system of the canal is working. So here we can see that one end is on this side, there are the 3 gates that have been built. So whenever the ship will be entered into the first gate, so that gate will be closed, and because of that water will be entering in here, then the water level will further rise. And again when there is the level of this 2 water bodies will be equal, then the second gate will be open, and then again when the ship will be entering here, the gate will be closed, and again the water level will be further rising to match. Then again here the third gate will be open in order to match the level of the water, so that the ship can be transit from this end to this end. So here we can see approximate 26 meter, as it is mentioned, the ships entering from the Atlantic side gain the 26 meter elevation at the Lake Gatun. So, and whenever the ship will be approaching towards the Pacific Ocean, then the similar there should be the dropping down of the ships. And now the threat is being because of the Lake Gatun, because there is a drought in this region, and because of the drought there is a rainfall is declining. So the water availability which is needed to raise the ships or to drop down the ships is not available in the adequate quantity, and because of which the number of the ship which used to be passed from this canal is significantly reduced. And one more important aspect that mentioned about the reason is the presence of El Nino. El Nino is associated with the declining in the rainfall or no rainfall as far as the Central American is concerned. So historically there have been the rainfall shortage on an average 20 years, but due to the major El Nino event in the last 26 years, there is a major rainfall deficit in the region, and therefore this particular efficiency of this canal, Panama Canal, is reducing. So in order to deal with the availability of the water in the Gatun Lake, so the Panama Canal Authority have proposed to create the second alternative by creating a dam at a Rio Indio river. But this creation of the dam on this particular river has been declined by the Panama Supreme Court, struck down a law So therefore now this canal is facing the existential crisis because of the drop down in the rainfall or the frequent El Nino event in the Southern America region. So here from the perspective of the exam, we should also know about the certain fact related to the Gartle Lake. It is a freshwater artificial lake. What makes it significant is when this lake was constructed for the purpose of providing the water for this locking system, it was the largest man-made lake that was created by the damming of the Chagres River, which is in the Panama country. Now, the next news article is about the how the bunny grassland of the Kutch, Gujarat can be restored. So basically, that is published in the newspaper because the Department of Earth and Environment from the University of Bhuj have published a report whereby the classification of this bunny grassland can be done to have the different restoration, ecological restoration activity. So for that matter, this study have been done. So first and foremost, we'll understand what is the importance of grassland ecosystem in general and what is the significance of this bunny grassland. So grassland, like the other ecosystem, is one of the major ecosystem which is distributed mainly in semi-arid, arid zone, for example, like savanna, grassy scrubland and open grassland. The significance of this grassland ecosystem lies in the fact that it offers a huge biodiversity in terms of various flora and fauna. It provides the advantage to the people by providing the various climate related service or ecosystem related service, for example, the carbon storage, climate mitigation and the pollination. But nowadays, this grassland ecosystem facing the various challenges because the population is rising, because of which there is a huge pressure on the agriculture land. So to expand the area under the agriculture, this grassland ecosystem is facing the challenge. Another is because of the overgrazing, deforestation and urbanization are other natural and the human made factor. Another important fact that has been mentioned is, if we talk about the entire grassland ecosystem in the world, then the 49% are estimated to be experiencing the degradation. So when it comes to India, so the total grassland ecosystem in India out of the total area is approximate 24% of the country total land area, which is 32.8 lakh square kilometer. So out of this, 8 lakh square kilometers grasslands account for in India. But now India is also facing the challenge related to the agriculture conversion, tree-based plantation, invasive species and various mega project development in the grassland region. So now because of this restoration of this bunny grassland ecosystem, this report has been published because it have the ecological significance. If we talk about the bunny grassland, so it is the Asia's largest tropical grassland which is located in India in the Kutch district of Gujarat on the western part of the country. And now this last track of the bunny grassland is also facing the challenge whereby this area which previously used to cover up to 3,800 square kilometers, now it is decreased up to 2,600 square kilometers. So therefore, because of this ecological significance and being a biodiversity rich region, it needs to be protected. For that matter, there should be the consideration in terms of the zoning of this entire grassland, whereby the region specific approach can be followed. For example, so in the suitable and high suitable zone, as per this report, what can be done? That can be the water resources can be further through the irrigation and the rainwater harvesting, which will improve the functioning of this grassland. When it comes to the moderate suitable zone or marginally suitable zone or not suitable zone, so with the help of the terracing, with the supplement inputs like fertilizer, and by protecting from the high water runoff and erosion and the salt intrusion, this grassland needs to be protected. And what is the another important significance of this bunny grassland is that there are various species which is dependent upon the grassland. For example, the great Indian bustard. We know that the great Indian bustard is a critical endangered species which is the state bird of Rajasthan, facing the challenge because of the habitat destruction, and the species is based on the grassland ecosystem. In this bunny grassland also this great Indian bustard is found. So therefore this protection of this great bunny grassland is important for the great Indian bustard. Another important aspect is related to the bunny grassland is being a rich biodiversity region. For example, here approximate 192 species of the plant and 275 bird species is found. So for example, here if we talk about the vegetation type, so here this vegetation is a salt tolerant. For example, Juliflora, Cressa critica and Salvadora sap, which is also a significant when it comes to the bunny grassland. It is a combination of the wetland and the grassland ecosystem. Therefore, the protection of this bunny grassland is also important. If you talk about the human habitation on the tribes which is living, so there are approximate 22 ethnic group which is residing in this bunny grassland. So their livelihood is also dependent upon the protection of this grassland. So therefore, it is very crucial to protect and very crucial to protect this bunny grassland ecosystem. So this was all about the today's session, that is about the August current affairs related to the environment section. Thank you so much.